A doctor can't do it, but Jesus is speaking right now into your finances. Jesus is speaking into your physical situation. And he's saying, peace, be still.
Why are you so fearful, O ye of little faith? I am the creator of the sea, and I make death behave. I know you
I started taking care of Kalia, and she was very, very sick when she was on ECMO, which is the heart and lung machine. And when kids are that sick, it's really hard to get to know who they are because we have them completely chemically paralyzed and sedated.
The first time I met Kalia's mom, I actually walked past her 3 different times. A nurse had paged me to say that I was needed at the bedside urgently. And outside of Kalia's room was this very calm woman sitting in a chair, and walked by the first time, walked back by a second time, and I asked the nurse again, I thought you said the mom was here, is she not here? And they said, that's her right there, you keep walking past her. And honestly, I have never seen a parent that calm during an event that was very stressful and very scary and certainly high anxiety and all that. And I joked with Kalia's dad that he's married to the calmest woman on the planet. And I think one of the most powerful things that we've gotten to witness from working with Kalia's family is the depths of their faith.
Girl has just brightened my day. She's a fighter, she's amazing, and she has made my life better just by being in it. And we've only known each other such a short amount of time, so I feel very blessed to have met her and her family. So
most families that come in are troubled or concerned or just uncomfortable. It's trying, stressful. But I found with them that they came in with this calm that I don't witness very often, and I've been around for a while, and they were so upbeat, they were so calm, and I could tell that the family is very close. Mrs. Purnell is very sedate, and her husband is very outgoing, very pleasant people, and never during the whole time that the child was here on our unit did I feel as though they were distressed about the situation. And that's so encouraging. I'm just impressed. I was very impressed. Seen a lot of stuff over these many years, but I was very impressed with them. And I think what struck out the most was their faith.
So today's going to be an awesome day, no matter if they take the two out or not. You're doing an amazing job and you're strong. You're going to continue to fight because Mama's going to continue to fight with you. So know that you're doing an amazing job. You see how alert you get and how you move your arms and legs. So God already healed your body. So whatever's going on with the suctioning, it's going to clear up and you're going to be okay and the tube's going to come out. So we're just glad that you're even here with us today. So continue to fight, Mama, and today's going to be an amazing day.
Everything just hit me, like my world just came apart. Because, you know, as a parent, you don't want to see your child suffer, or you don't want to see your child sick. You know, you don't mind if you sick because, you know, you'll get through it. But watching your kids go through it's like, it hurts. So, you know, going through that, and then, of course, they said they had to keep her, and everything just started happening so fast. And it was like a movie, like a horror movie. I'm like, are you serious? This is really what's happening right now? And I just broke. Because I'm like, as a man, you try to do what you can to protect your family and try to protect your kids, especially your daughters. And it's like, it went from she had a nose cold to pneumonia, hepatitis pneumonia. And we were like, what is that? And so called my wife, kind of told her what was going on. I stayed the first night, and if I could just be bluntly honest, that first night was hell.
I believe, I believe, I believe you're gonna do it.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am Chantai Rae, the #1 glow getter, author, motivational speaker, and CEO of the Chantai Rae Collection, where I encourage and empower families to live a lifestyle of non-negotiable faith so they can push through all the trials and tribulations in their lives and know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So I want them to know that they are that shining light. So I am so grateful to have an amazing, beautiful, phenomenal woman, Miss Anna Hannah,
Hey
on the
everybody.
live with us tonight. Thank you so much, Anna, because I wanted her to come on because she was such an impact on this journey, this non-negotiable faith journey with my daughter Kalia. So we just want to talk about what was her perspective, because let's get a little backstory. My daughter Kalia was diagnosed with necrotizing pneumonia at the age of 2. And that's when her lungs deteriorated. So she had to go on life support. And basically she had to fight for her life. And within that, she blessed so many people, especially me, because my relationship with God was so shaky that I really didn't have faith. And what birthed out of that journey was a non-negotiable faith relationship with God. And that's because this little girl, every day, she fought. We prayed over her. She had worship music going, and she had amazing anointed people that would come and visit her, because that was one thing. I didn't let any negative people in the room. I didn't let her hear any negative talk, because I trusted and believed in God, and God had the last say so. When everybody said no, I was the one that stepped in and said no. Me and Kalia are walking out of here, because I had a strong circle of amazing women to comfort me, to be there for me, to pour into me. Because just in that situation as a mom alone, it's hard looking at your child when they look like they lifeless. But the one thing that I told everybody, she's not on life support, she's on God support. Because God is in this room, God has the last say so, and God is holding her right now. So I just want to come in this month, because May is the month of miracles, manifestations, and movement. So when you trust and believe God and have faith as small as a mustard seed, God will move mountains. But you got to get up and move so the things that you're asking and you're speaking can manifest. Because all those no's can't turn into a yes. But you got to have non-negotiable faith. Your faith cannot be wavering. So you got to have that non-negotiable faith in those instances so you can speak what you want. So I'm going to bring up Miss Anna Hannah. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on with you. I haven't seen you in a while, but it's so good to see you. I'm doing phenomenal, and I often think of Kalia. I think of your whole family because I've had all your children in my Sunday school class. So, and that's where I was first introduced to your family. But I remember that time, and I knew it was a trying time, and I remember when I first found out that Kalia was sick. I forgot even how I found out, but I found out through word of mouth, I believe, and then I think I asked someone for your number, and I called you, or I texted you to see how she was doing, and you told me, you kind of like let me know what they were doing for her, because what a lot of people on here don't know is that Kalia was at another hospital before she went to Lurie's. So I remember that journey, I remember when the journey started, and so yeah, so I'm not gonna get ahead of you, so I'll just let you take over from there, unless you want me to go on.
Yeah, Flo, no, go ahead. This is your perspective.
So since we're asking from my perspective, what I thought was, I felt when I found out that Kalia was sick and that she was in the hospital, I said, okay, something's going on and that is serious. I'm a nurse by profession. I work in the ICU. I don't I remember when I first found out that she was in the hospital, and I remember asking you, I think I talked to you on the phone, and I asked you, well, tell me what's going on with her, and what do they have, what are they doing for her? And then I think maybe by day 2, I remember you and I having a conversation, and I said, you know what, I think you might want to think about getting her transferred. And I said, see if you can get her transferred to Lurie's because they can take it up another level. And I remember by that time, I believe she was put on a breathing machine even before she went to Lurie's, I believe.
Yes, yes.
She was on a breathing machine and then they sent her to Lurie's. And I remember they stabilized her at Lurie's and things because you had to wait for a bed. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, hopefully they'll be able to get control of this and get her off in a couple of days. And then I remember maybe about the 3rd or 4th day or something like that. It had to be about the 3rd or 4th day. You told me that a doctor had come in and he had talked to you and he said, she can get through this, but I need you to work with me and I need you to be patient. That's what I remember you telling me, the doctor telling you. And I said to myself, I said, God, I pray that they don't have to put the baby on a bypass, heart-lung bypass machine. And so because I wasn't so much concerned about how Kalia would do, I was concerned about how you would do when you saw that, because I know for grown people that can be intimidating when they see their loved ones on that. So I was praying for you because I said, okay, God, don't let her panic when she sees this because I don't want Kalia to pick this up from her. And so, because I knew Kalia was a fighter because from having her in my class, I knew she was pretty tough. So,
Anna, do you got your earbud in? You hear static?
I do. I don't know why it's doing that. It keeps doing that. I don't know.
No.
Maybe I should just switch to my phone.
Okay.
I'll try it. Sorry. Is that better? Not
It's
really.
a little.
Okay, it's a little bit better. But I remember her being tough, and I remember, just talking just praying for you and your family because I didn't want anybody to be freaked out about it when they saw her on the machine. And I remember thinking, okay, I need to make sure that you're okay because I knew Kalia would be fine. She was going to get through it, but I wanted you to be okay through her process. And I remember I made it up in my mind that I was going to talk to you daily to check on you to see how you were doing, to make sure you had what you needed, because I knew that it was going to be a little bit of time that passed until she came through this. And so I'm gonna be honest with you, my faith grew as I saw Kalia healing day by day. So I knew she was gonna make it, but I was like, God, you didn't put this little girl here to just leave now. I know this. She's got something to do. She's not done. So I knew that. But I just wanted to make sure you were okay. And that's what I felt the job that God had given me was to make sure you all were okay. So I tried to make sure that I kept up with you every day. And then I remember this one story you telling me that as she got better and she went to rehab, I remember they were allowing you to take her out for a walk because her muscles had gotten a little atrophied from not moving around too much. And I remember you told me this little girl's feeding tube fell out of her nose. How does that just happen? It just fell out. And remember starting to laugh and thinking, well, that was no accident. She's ready to eat. So yeah, I just remember the journey, but I remember just feeling relief as the days were going by. Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. And it's like, it feel like it's vivid, exactly how you're saying. I can see reliving it every time I even look at her. I was like, man, just look at where you were and where you at now. And just having that support. I was grateful for you coming, because literally, mentally, I was like, okay, God, I know she's gonna make it, but I'm looking at her like, come on, Khalid, we gotta walk out of here. So it was hard. It was hard because I didn't want to leave her side. I didn't want to go eat. I didn't want to go to the
You
park
did not
around the
leave
house.
either. I remember saying to you, like, it's okay. The nurses will let you know. They'll call you if something happens and you can come back. I said, take a walk around the building. I can attest to the fact that you did not leave her side for like the first 2 weeks. You did not. I had to literally pry you out of there and be like, go take a shower. She will be fine. I remember you slept and showered right there in that room every single day. I remember that.
Yes.
That showed me a mother's love. Not, I was like, that is a mother's love right there. Yeah.
Wow.
It was incredible to watch.
Yes, it was. It really built my belief and my faith, because just watching, I'm like, and then when she came out of it, for her to, I felt like she progressed so quickly. Like, they kept telling me, oh, Kalia's going to be on medication for the next 5 or 6 years. She's going to have to go to the heart doctor. And every time I took her to appointments, they like, this is not the little girl in the report. Like, is she fine at home? Like, yeah, she's fine. She doesn't have any headaches or nothing. No, it's like, well, you don't need to bring her back, but we're thinking it's going to be another little girl, that's traumatized. And I was like, no, because you don't know who she knows. God saved her. She's a miracle. So I think that was her test right there. Like, okay, you going to go out and show these people what a miracle is. Miracles are normal. They just not written words. So literally, she changed a lot of lives. She blessed a lot of people in that hospital. A lot of people that didn't know God, they knew God after she left. A lot of people, the Jesus Calling devotional that I used to read to her, a lot of nurses went and got it. They got past the Hannah CD, because I played his healing CD all day, all night, covering her. So she blessed a lot of people, but she blessed me as well. So it was a journey. But yeah, I was just grateful.
Yeah, and and so I knew, I said, that showed me when I saw her, recuperating. That further confirmed to me that this little girl has got an assignment in this world. Her job is not done. She can't go anywhere until this assignment is done. Whatever assignment God has given her to do, she hasn't fulfilled it yet. And I told God in my prayers when I prayed for her, I said, God, she's not done here. I know this little girl is not done with her assignment. So, like, there were a couple of times when I had to go, when I went in there and I told the devil, I said, not this one, not this one. You're not taking this one. So that's why, it's important for the teachers, the children's teachers, their physicians, whoever takes care of these kids. It's important that at least somebody's got to pray for them and cancel the assignment of the enemy. You don't know what assignment that child has on their life. That young lady who was responsible for developing the Moderna vaccine. Her teachers didn't know that they had a scientist in their midst that was going to help save so many lives. They didn't know that. And that's how I look at Kalia. Like, we don't know the assignment this little girl has. I don't know what she's going to do. And I want to know, I plan on keeping in touch with you all so that, I can see who she turns out to be. It's going to be very interesting because she's got quite the personality if you've never met her. So
yes.
She's very bold. She will speak it. So
It still do. And it's so funny you say that because it's a video that I was just watching yesterday, and Kalia said a prayer. And in her prayer, she said, God, I want you to cover people that get sick. Because a lot of people are going to get a cold and they're going to give it to each other. And it's so nasty. And God, just cover them because I don't want to get sick. But make sure you cover everybody. And she prayed that prayer 7 months before she went in the hospital. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this little girl. I'm going to play this video because it messed me up. And she just sitting in my lap because she likes playing with the phone. And she just said this prayer. You know, people are going to get a cold and they're going to get sick. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I just watched it yesterday. Like this little girl then spoke this, but look, she didn't live through it. And like, yeah, so these kids, very anointed. Very anointed.
Yes, they are. Children are very anointed because their spirits are so pure.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And
and they have faith that we just can't believe the faith that children have sometimes. They just, no question, they don't question God. They just tell you, he's going to do it. It's going to be okay.
yes,
Yeah. I've had a lot of kids do that with me, so.
Yeah, and then look where they're grounded. You done had them, my babies, since they were babies.
All 3 of your children. Oh my God. All 3 of them.
It starts from the bottom and up. You know, it's their foundation. So we made sure they were in church. It ain't no you want to go to church. No. You don't care if you're in diapers. You're going to the nursery. You're going to the church because they need that. They need to get poured into because it starts from the bottom on up. So I'm just grateful.
You know, and I don't know why I keep harping on this, but, you know, I don't know who's on here because I can't see who's on here. But if you're an educator, if you work in children's ministry, it is very important. You're not just babysitting. You're taking care of the future. So it's important that you have a relationship with the Lord, that you have a prayer life because you have to cover these children, especially nowadays. With all the evil that's in the world, it's important to cover these kids. So I felt the need to say that.
Yes. That's whoever's out here watching, take heed of that. Because these kids need it.
They need it.
Especially now. The way everything's going, they need it. And they just need to know they love. You know, my kids are huggers. They love to love. And
yes,
that's one thing about Kalia. Kalia's name means God is my life, like a friend to all. God is my judge, friend to all. And she's literally a friend to everybody she encounters. And she'll tell you, hello, I just spoke to you. You need to speak to me. So
I believe it. I believe it. I believe it.
And
that's
she's
her.
Living out her life. God is her judge. God had the last say so, and God is her judge. So yeah. So these kids, they need the love. So yeah. So
and you know, speak into their lives. Speak into these children's lives. You know, so many times, you know, kids hear negative words. How many of us grew up hearing negative words spoken into our lives? And then it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy when we grow up that so a man thinketh, so is he. So if you tell a child, well, you're not, you know, you're no good, or you're not going to be anything, or what, you're going to be like so-and-so, so-and-so. Well, you spoke it over them. You wonder why the child is acting the way that they're acting. And then, well, you spoke it. So watch the words that you speak over your children. So be careful with your words, parents and sitters and daycare providers and teachers. Be careful.
Exactly. And then when you speak positive, you know, you're beautiful, you whole, you're strong, you know, you're faithful. They take heed of that as well, and they live that out. So like you said, words are powerful, and you can't take words back once you said it. You might not mean it, so you got to think before you speak, because they receive it totally different than how we receive it. So speaking positive is totally needed, especially when they're so young, because they remember things. I remember things when I was a little kid. So you have to watch the words. You have to watch. So yeah. So if you was in a situation and someone asked you, what does non-negotiable faith mean to you? How would you answer that to explain that to a non-believer that doesn't understand what faith is?
In thinking about that, non-negotiable, it just means to me, when I think of non-negotiable, I think about something that's not even up for discussion, that's not even questioned. I remember when I was a kid, like I was a negotiator, or I tried to be a negotiator. Like they would tell me, go to bed, and I'd be like, well, when the end of this show goes off, can I go to bed? And my aunt would look at me and go, this is non-negotiable. It is what it is.
Yes.
You are going to bed now. So I think that's how we have to be with our faith. If we believe that God is going to do something for us, then we have to know without a shadow of a doubt that he's going to do it. And I think a lot of times when we think about faith, we put a time limit on when God is going to do something or to deliver something to us and how he's going to deliver it to us. But I remember I had asked God for something when I was a little kid. And I remember about 4 years ago, I got what I asked for when I was a little girl. And then when I got it, it was like God brought it back to my remembrance. But I was about 7 or 8 years old when I had talked to God about it. And here I am, 55, and he had just given it to me. That one thing that I had desired. And, I remember throughout the years, I had always desired it, but I had never gotten it. It's not a big thing, but it was big to me because it's something that I wanted. And at the age of 55, I got it. And so it wasn't given to me when I wanted it, but it was given to me when I could handle it. So it's not, he didn't forget. God never forgot. But when I got it, it was kind of like it. And we like to put limitations on like when God is going to do it and how he's going to do it. And I think that's how we get disappointed and we miss what God has for us, is because we put limitations on God and stipulations on God of when he can do it and how he's going to do it. And a lot of people know that, my husband and I don't have children. But I remember when we got married and God was like, I'm going to, he always took me to the book of Genesis when he told Abraham, you're going to be the father of many nations. And God kind of like, he would tell me that, like, you're going to have so many offspring that you're not even going to be able to count it. And we have so many kids at our church, you cannot even count the number of kids we have at our church. It's so many children. And God kind of like spoke to me one day and said, it doesn't always come the way that you think it's going to come. And I just started crying because I don't have to take any of them home. I checked them out with their parents. Yes. So, but I love them, and they still come to me when they're teenagers because I have the babies, and oh my God, so many of them have come back and said hi to me, and they're in college now. So and I don't have to pay tuition. So it doesn't always come the way we think, but just know that God is going to deliver and give you what you believe him for.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. Like you said, you do have a lot of kids, because every kid I know that's around you, they don't never want to go home. My kids never want to leave Sunday school. They never want to go home. So you have a lot of kids.
I love your kids.
Such a blessing. Such a
I love
blessing.
your kids. I love the children, yeah.
We love you too. And I'm just grateful. I just want to thank you again, because you helped me so much during this journey. It was so hard. I'm just glad you were by my side, because you was working nights and you would come over there. I'm like, she is sacrificing her sleep just to be with me, just to even sit with me. And that just hit me so much. Like, thank you, God, for sending her. It was like you was God sent. Because in my mind, I'm like, I don't want everybody in here because, she's sick. But when you said you was coming, I just cried. I cried before you got there. Like, thank you, because I needed that. Because I did feel alone. I felt so alone there, just watching her by myself, that I needed somebody that can pour into me spiritually, because I was drained. And I know you knew it. I was so drained.
Yeah, and that's what I was concerned about. I was concerned about you. Because a lot of times um, people think that nurses just care for the patient, but the patient is more than just an illness. They're a human being with a family, with a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister, children. They're a whole universe outside of their illness. And when they're sick, it's like the whole dynamic is out of whack. So you were my concern, because I know the mom, and you had two other little ones, and you had like a baby. She was a baby. The youngest was a baby. So
4 months. I was still in postpartum. I just had
yes,
a
yes, you had an infant. Yes, I remember that. And then I was concerned about, Uriah, because, if you're at the hospital, then, the children might feel, so I was concerned about that, so I felt that my ministry at that time was to make sure you were okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to thank you. I thank you so much for just taking time to even talk with us today. I'm like, I got to bring it on here, because everybody needs to know how amazing you are. If they don't know, they need to know. You are amazing. You are a blessing. You are a gift. And you are one of the reasons that this Non-Negotiable Faith Series was birthed. Wow. Because with her sitting there on my left and you on my right, it just strengthened me as a person, as a mother, as a woman of God, and just knowing that it's going to be okay. That's all I kept hearing, is she's going to be okay. And your face always lit up when you was in a room, like, she going to be okay, but how are you? That's what you always said. How are you doing? Kalia's going to be fine. How are you? And that's what non-negotiable faith means to me. It's like, it's non-negotiable. Whatever you say and believe, that's what's going to happen. So don't worry. Don't go mental ping pong. It's non-negotiable. Like you said, it's nothing to talk about. And that's basically how the Purnells live our lifestyle now. It's non-negotiable. Our mindset is non-negotiable. Our faith is non-negotiable. Our God is non-negotiable. And that's how you got to live. And I thank you for that, because you were so integral for me to grow spiritually as a woman. So I am so blessed and so grateful for you taking the time out to even sit and talk to me today. And I
am so proud of you, because I remember you telling me, I remember about 4 years ago, you were like, I'm going to write a book about this journey. And I was praying for you, because I was like, your mom, I want you to get it done. I didn't know when it was going to get done. You got it done kind of fast, actually, but you did a good job, and I'm very proud of you. And the woman that you are. And I know you're an amazing mom and a wonderful wife. So it's good to see you all grown up.
Thank you. Thank you. And yes,
thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I pray that a lot of families, whoever's on here, I hope that they're really blessed, because you've got a lot to say to them, and you've got a lot to pour into the world. So I miss you, and I can't wait to see you all.
Oh, we love you. We can't wait to see you soon.
Okay. Thank you for having me. Love you all.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today to this first installment of the Non-Negotiable Series. I am Chantai Rae, the author of Non-Negotiable: When My Faith Fought My Flesh and Won. And I tell y'all, this book is impacting so many lives. And it's because it's a real story, a real journey of a little 2-year-old girl that fought for her life, with her mom by her side, her daddy at home with a 3-month-old that we just had in a 5-year-old son, and doing daddy duties, running the house, while the mom sits next to the daughter and pray, worship, don't leave her side. to make sure that baby was going to walk out of there. And that lady was me, and that little girl is Kalia Purnell. So I am grateful. If you haven't grabbed a copy of the book, you can go and get it off of Amazon. It's on Kindle as well. So make sure you grab a copy of When My Faith Fought My Flesh and Won, Non-Negotiable, and I promise you, it's going to show you what non-negotiable faith truly means and how you fight in the battle with fear. When you're in a ring and it's faith against fear, you're always going to come on top if you surround yourself with faith and you're comforted in faith and you have a circle of faith-filled women and men around you. So that's what keeps you on top, is when you're living a lifestyle of non-negotiable faith. And it's going to be an amazing rest of the month. I'm going to have some phenomenal guests that's coming the rest of the month to bless you guys, because they bless me. So I want to share the word with them, so you actually can see the perspective of When My Faith Fought My Flesh and Won, Non-Negotiable Faith, the story of Kalia Purnell, her story, my story, our story. So thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys next week. Bye.